For decades, Three's Company kept us laughing with its signature humor and unforgettable characters. But beneath the comedy lies a startling truth. 9 beloved stars are no longer with us. Their public smiles often concealed private battles, health struggles, emotional pain, and the relentless toll of fame. This legacy of laughter is now tinged with a poignant reminder that even icons can suffer in silence. Born February 2, 1932, Cleveland, Ohio. Died April 29, 2018, Los Angeles, California, age 86. Sophisticated and smooth, Robert Mandan's portrayal of James Bradford brought a touch of elegance to Three's Company. Known for his roles as suave businessmen or charming rogues, Mandan enjoyed a long career that, while steady, never quite broke through to stardom. Still, he was respected by his peers and cherished by fans of classic television. He passed away quietly, a man whose understated grace added polish to every project he touched. Born November 1, 1928, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Died October 8, 1979, Palm Springs, California, age 50. Emmeline Henry made her mark as the sharp and assertive attorney, J.C. Braddock. Best known for playing Amanda Bellows in I Dream of Jeannie, Henry was a gifted comedic actress whose talent often went underappreciated. Her life and career were cut tragically short when she succumbed to a brain tumor at just 50. Her early passing left fans wondering what more she could have achieved had time been on her side. Born September 24, 1918, Los Angeles, California. Died October 16, 1997, Los Angeles, California, age 79. Audra Lindley brought a mix of sass, sadness, and sex appeal to Helen Roper, the vibrant, overlooked wife of Stanley Roper. Beneath the comedy, Lindley infused her character with a poignancy that made Helen deeply relatable to viewers. Off-camera, she had lived through the ebbs and flows of both personal and professional hardships. A seasoned stage and screen actress, she continued to work steadily despite her leukemia diagnosis, remaining committed to her craft until her final days. Her passing marked the loss of one of television's most quietly powerful performers. Born October 16, 1946, San Bruno, California. Died October 15, 2023, Palm Springs, California, age 76. With her radiant smile, comedic timing, and unique voice, Suzanne Somers transformed the role of Chrissy Snow from a dumb blonde stereotype into a lovable, iconic character that won over millions. Somers' bold push for equal pay led to her controversial departure from the show, but she didn't fade away. She reinvented herself as a successful entrepreneur, health advocate, and best-selling author. Behind her public success was a long, hard-fought battle with breast cancer, which she courageously faced for over 2 decades. She passed away one day shy of her 77th birthday, surrounded by love, having turned adversity into strength and become a symbol of resilience. Born January 21, 1934, Abilene, Texas. Died November 16, 2017, North Bergen, New Jersey, age 83. Anne Wedgeworth's Lana Shields was a short-lived but unforgettable presence on Three's Company, a sultry, sophisticated divorcee who set her sights on Jack Tripper. With her southern charm and theatrical flair, Wedgeworth brought a bold new energy to the show, even as her character's arc was cut short. Off-screen, she was an accomplished stage actress, having won a Tony Award, yet her screen career often didn't reflect her immense talent. Though she struggled with being typecast and underutilized, Wedgeworth's love for acting never waned, and she remained a respected figure in the theater world until her passing. Born April 16, 1927, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Died January 14, 2021, Woodland Hills, California, age 93. As Chrissy's stern and disapproving father, Reverend Luther Snow, Peter Mark Richmond brought a solemnity to the comedic world of Three's Company. A classically trained actor with over 500 television credits, Richmond was the consummate professional, reliable, refined, and quietly brilliant. Yet, despite his long and accomplished career, widespread recognition often eluded him. In his later years, he stepped back from the limelight, focusing on painting, writing, and family. He died peacefully, a reminder that some of Hollywood's best work is done not in the spotlight, but in its gentle glow. Born March 24, 1924, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Died December 14, 1998, Los Angeles, California, age 74. With his deadpan delivery and sly double takes, Norman Fell made Stanley Roper one of the most recognizable characters in sitcom history. A gruff yet oddly endearing landlord, Roper's suspicious nature and resistance to change fueled many of the show's funniest moments. Fell's comedic genius earned him a Golden Globe, and his chemistry with Audra Lindley led to their own spin-off, The Ropers. Unfortunately, the spin-off's short run stalled his career momentum. In his final years, he faced a difficult battle with bone cancer, retreating from the public eye. But his legacy lives on in every laugh his character continues to inspire. Born July 21, 1924, Morgantown, West Virginia. Died February 24, 2006, Los Angeles, California, age 81. Few actors have mastered the art of physical comedy and character nuance like Don Knotts. A household name thanks to his Emmy-winning role as Barney Fife on The Andy Griffith Show, Knotts brought his signature blend of nervous energy and comic brilliance to Three's Company in 1979. As Ralph Furley, the eccentric, leisure suit-loving landlord with wild expressions and even wilder suspicions, Knotts reinvigorated the show following the Ropers' departure. Off-screen, Knotts was a quiet and introspective man who battled anxiety and depression throughout his life, even as he made millions laugh. His comedic timing remained sharp even into his later years, despite declining health. He passed away due to pulmonary and respiratory complications, but his unique brand of humor and the warmth he brought to television are immortal. Born September 17, 1948, Los Angeles, California. Died September 11, 2003, Burbank, California, age 54. John Ritter was the soul of Three's Company, embodying the lovable Jack Tripper, with a rare combination of slapstick charm, physical dexterity, and emotional depth. A trained dramatic actor, Ritter's comedic talents emerged naturally, and his portrayal of Jack earned him both an Emmy and a Golden Globe. He made falling over a couch or reacting to misunderstandings into an art form. Off-screen, Ritter was known for his humility and kindness, a devoted family man who remained grounded in an industry that often wasn't. His sudden passing from an aortic dissection while filming 8 Simple Rules stunned fans and peers alike. He left behind a legacy not only of laughter, but of genuine human warmth and generosity. Barney Martin's Morty Seinfeld, Jerry's dad, was a perfect foil to Liz Sheridan's Helen. With his gruff exterior, sarcastic humor, and relatable sense of frustration, Morty became an essential part of Jerry's family dynamic. Martin joined Seinfeld in 1992 at the age of 57, and his portrayal of Morty was both hilarious and heartfelt. Despite his moments of frustration with Jerry's antics, Martin's portrayal was never without warmth. In real life, Barney Martin was a seasoned actor with an extensive career in both theater and film, often playing lovable, down-to-earth characters. He passed away on March 21, 2005, at the age of 82. His portrayal of Morty remains one of the most fondly remembered father figures in television history. Uncle Leo, Jerry's quirky, attention-seeking uncle, was played by Len Lesser, whose distinct voice and mannerisms made the character an enduring favorite. Appearing throughout the series, Lesser's portrayal of Uncle Leo added an extra layer of absurdity to the show's world, with his attempts to engage Jerry in family drama or his sometimes awkward social interactions. Lesser, who joined the cast in 1991 at age 60, quickly became a fan favorite due to his comedic timing and memorable catchphrase, "Hello, Jerry." Len Lesser passed away on February 16, 2011, at the age of 88. Despite his relatively minor role in terms of screen time, his character has left a lasting impact on Seinfeld fans everywhere. Richard Hurd's portrayal of Mr. Wilhelm, George's long-suffering boss at the New York Yankees, was a wonderful addition to the show's expansive character roster. While Mr. Wilhelm's role was mostly focused on his interactions with George's antics, Hurd brought an understated but authoritative presence to the character. His work as a calm, often bewildered figure was a perfect contrast to George's ever-present chaos. Hurd, who was 53 when he joined the cast in 1993, was known for his roles in V, T.J. Hooker, and several other TV and film productions. He passed away on May 26, 2020, at the age of 87 after battling cancer. His contribution to Seinfeld remains a memorable part of the show's rich ensemble of characters. Ruth Cohen's recurring role as the unflappable cashier at Monk's Cafe, where the main characters spent much of their time, was a small but vital piece of the Seinfeld puzzle. Cohen appeared in over 100 episodes, becoming an enduring figure in the series' world. Her no-nonsense approach to her work contrasted nicely with the often ridiculous conversations of Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer. Cohen passed away on July 19, 2008, at the age of 78. While her screen time may have been limited, her character helped ground the show in the everyday reality that it so cleverly examined. Philip Baker Hall's turn as Luther Joe Bookman, the no-nonsense library cop who pursues Jerry for an overdue book, is one of the show's most unforgettable guest spots. Hall, who appeared in the 1991 episode The Library, brought a sense of gravitas and intimidation to the role that was both hilarious and eerily serious. His character's obsession with justice and his unwavering commitment to finding the truth, no matter how small, added a layer of absurdity to the already outrageous Seinfeld universe. At 63, when he first appeared on Seinfeld, Hall had already built an extensive career in film and television. He passed away on June 12, 2022, at the age of 90, leaving behind a diverse and impressive body of work. His portrayal of Bookman remains one of Seinfeld's most iconic and talked-about guest appearances. Renee Santoni's portrayal of the irritable, difficult restaurant owner Poppy brought a layer of unpredictability to the show. His role in The Pie, where his character refuses to wash his hands after using the bathroom, became one of Seinfeld's most notorious moments. Santoni's work on Seinfeld, which began in 1994 when he was 54, was a perfect example of the show's ability to turn mundane, everyday situations into comedic gold. Santoni passed away on August 1, 2020, at the age of 81. His portrayal of Poppy remains a classic example of Seinfeld's ability to take unremarkable characters and turn them into sources of unforgettable humor. One of the most memorable supporting characters in Seinfeld was Frank Costanza, George's fiery, eccentric father. Played by the legendary Jerry Stiller, Frank became an iconic figure in the series, known for his explosive outbursts, his hilarious eccentricities, and his famous catchphrase, "Serenity now." Stiller's performance brought Frank to life with a raw intensity and impeccable timing that turned the character into one of the show's most beloved. Beyond Seinfeld, Jerry Stiller had an illustrious career, with early work as part of the comedy duo Stiller and Meara alongside his wife Ann Meara. He also had notable roles in King of Queens and The Take. Stiller passed away on May 11, 2020, at the age of 92, leaving behind a comedic legacy that will be cherished for years to come. His larger-than-life energy and unapologetic humor continue to influence comedians and actors today. Estelle Harris's portrayal of George's overbearing and neurotic mother, Estelle Costanza, was equally memorable. With her high-pitched voice and rapid-fire delivery, Harris brought to life one of Seinfeld's most amusing and frustrating characters. Her scenes, whether she was berating George or offering ridiculous advice, became unforgettable moments for fans of the show. Harris, who was 65 when she first appeared on Seinfeld in 1992, was a master of comedic timing, balancing humor with the pathos of a mother who simply wanted the best for her son, albeit in the most irrational ways. Harris's legacy extends beyond Seinfeld, as she voiced Mrs. Potato Head in Toy Story and appeared in numerous other television shows and films. She passed away on April 2, 2022, at the age of 93. Her contributions to the world of comedy are vast, and her work continues to inspire. Liz Sheridan's portrayal of Jerry's loving but somewhat clueless mother, Helen Seinfeld, brought warmth and depth to the show's family dynamics. Though not as frequently featured as some of the other characters, Sheridan's portrayal was a key part of Jerry's backstory, showing the soft side of the typically sarcastic and witty protagonist. Sheridan had a successful career in both theater and television, with roles in Alf and The Edge of Night. She appeared as Helen Seinfeld starting in 1990 at the age of 56, quickly becoming a staple of the show. Liz Sheridan passed away on April 15, 2022, just a few days after her 93rd birthday. Her role as Helen Seinfeld is cherished by fans for its understated sincerity and charm. Wayne Knight's portrayal of Newman, the scheming, self-serving, and endlessly frustrating mailman, added a unique layer of absurdity to Seinfeld's already eccentric world. Known for his distinctive voice and smug demeanor, Newman was often the antagonist to Jerry and the gang, embodying the sort of petty, conspiratorial nature that became a signature of. Despite being a side character, Newman became an icon in his own right. His interactions with Jerry often creating some of the most memorable comedic moments. Whether he was plotting against Jerry, enjoying a cup of coffee in his mail carrier uniform, or simply exuding his trademark arrogance, Newman was a central figure in the show's world. At 68, Wayne Knight remains a familiar face in both film and television, but his role as Newman is still one of his most cherished. And fans continue to appreciate the character's contributions to Seinfeld's success. John O'Hurley's portrayal of J. Peterman, the eccentric and verbose boss of Elaine Benny's, was a perfect example of Seinfeld's commitment to quirky and absurd characters. Peterman, with his penchant for dramatic storytelling and his philosophical musings on everything from furniture to life itself, became a beloved figure in the later seasons of the show. O'Hurley brought a refined absurdity to the character, making him both hilarious and slightly enigmatic. Peterman's grandiose descriptions of mundane things, like a simple pair of pants or a trip to the Caribbean, perfectly captured the show's offbeat tone. Even now, at 70, John O'Hurley continues to work as both an actor and a host, but his portrayal of the J. Peterman character will always stand out as one of the highlights of his career. His contribution to Seinfeld remains a testament to the show's ability to turn the most outlandish personalities into something unforgettable. And Peterman's quirky wisdom continues to be remembered fondly by fans. Jerry Seinfeld, the very heart and soul of Seinfeld, has long been one of the most influential figures in comedy. As the creator, writer, and star of the show, his ability to observe the mundane aspects of everyday life and turn them into comedic gold was a hallmark of the series. Jerry's brand of dry, observational humor, which focused on the absurdities of modern life, resonated with audiences in ways that few sitcoms have ever managed to replicate. Even at 69, Jerry remains a towering figure in the comedy world, continually shaping the landscape of stand-up with his sharp, clever wit. His ongoing stand-up performances are a testament to his timeless comedic sensibilities, while his creation and hosting of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee has introduced new generations to his unique approach to humor. By sitting down with other comedy legends, Jerry has remained a beloved presence in the entertainment industry, proving that his comedic insights are as sharp and relevant today as they were when Seinfeld was on the air. His legacy as both a comedian and a writer is undeniably vast, and his influence continues to permeate every corner of the comedy world. Julia Louis-Dreyfus's portrayal of Elaine Benny's remains one of the defining performances in television history. Elaine was not just a woman in a sitcom. She was a fully realized, multi-dimensional character who broke free from the typical constraints of female roles in a male-dominated television landscape. With her quick wit, unapologetic confidence, and unique quirks, Elaine quickly became an audience favorite. Her legendary dance moves, the unforgettable shrinkage moment, and her witty comebacks are etched in the minds of fans around the world. Post-Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus's career trajectory has only soared higher. Most notably with her transformative role as Vice President Selina Meyer on Veep. Her brilliant portrayal of a morally ambiguous, power-hungry politician earned her multiple Emmy Awards and solidified her place as one of the finest comedic actresses of her generation. Now at 64, Julia's work continues to inspire and entertain, and her reputation as a comedic powerhouse has only strengthened over time. The remarkable range of her performances, from the absurdity of Elaine to the sharp, politically charged comedy of Veep, demonstrates her versatility and talent, ensuring that her career will be remembered for years to come. Michael Richards' portrayal of Cosmo Kramer is the stuff of television legend. His eccentric character, often bursting through Jerry's door in wild, unpredictable ways, became one of the most iconic in sitcom history. With his slapstick, physical comedy, bizarre schemes, and quirky mannerisms, Kramer stole scenes effortlessly, becoming a beloved character and a symbol of Seinfeld's irreverent style. Richards brought a physicality to the role that few could match. From his famous Kramer slide to his chaotic yet endearing antics. However, while his post-Seinfeld career has faced significant ups and downs, with some controversy surrounding certain events, the impact of Kramer remains undeniable. Richards' ability to make the absurd hilarious and his commitment to physical comedy set a high bar for comedic performances in television. At 74, Michael Richards continues to influence the world of comedy, though it is his unforgettable portrayal of Kramer that will always define his legacy in the entertainment world. Jason Alexander's portrayal of George Costanza is widely regarded as one of the greatest comedic performances of all time. George, a neurotic, self-absorbed, and perpetually unlucky character, was perfectly balanced by Alexander's ability to bring both humor and humanity to the role. Despite George's many flaws, his selfishness, insecurity, and inability to catch a break, audiences couldn't help but root for him. The character was complex, and Jason's nuanced performance gave George an emotional depth that went beyond the sitcom formula. Whether he was lying about his job, avoiding responsibility, or navigating awkward social situations, George's misadventures were both painfully relatable and endlessly funny. Now 64, Jason continues to be a highly respected actor and performer, both on screen and on stage. While he has played many roles since Seinfeld, none has been as enduring or beloved as George. His portrayal of the neurotic, often hapless George Costanza remains a defining moment in television history, and it continues to be a source of inspiration for aspiring comedians and actors alike. Although Ford Kiernan had only a brief voice appearance in a 1996 episode, he would go on to become a defining force. In January 10, 1962, in Glasgow, he would later co-create Still Game, where he played Jack Jarvis, an aging Glaswegian full of charm and sass. While his role in Rab C. Nesbitt was fleeting, his career was just beginning. In many ways, Kiernan carried the torch from Rab C. Nesbitt into the next generation of Scottish comedy. At 63, he continues to act, write, and tour, connecting deeply with fans who followed him for decades. Brian Pettifer, born January 1, 1953, played Andra, a quirky and lovably odd companion of Rab's. Often quiet and oddly philosophical, Andra added a slightly surreal touch to the otherwise grounded realism of the show. He was a loyal pal with a mysterious past and an unpredictable mind. Pettifer was already a seasoned actor known for If, Topsy-Turvy, and The Legend of Barney Thompson. As of 2025 at 72, he continues to appear in select theater productions and remains an enigmatic, well-respected figure in British drama. Best known as the original Holly in Red Dwarf, Norman Lovett brought his signature deadpan humor to Rab C. Nesbitt in 1990, playing Brother Gideon, a weird, soft-spoken street preacher whose surreal presence added a touch of absurdist comedy. Born October 31, 1946, Lovett is a cult icon among fans of British sci-fi and comedy. Even today, at 78, he performs stand-up and tours comic cons, bringing laughter and nostalgia in equal measure. Born January 15, 1950, in Clydebank, Barbara Rafferty brought fire and fury to the role of Ella Cotter, the long-suffering wife of Jamesy. She was no passive bystander. Ella had her own sharp tongue and cutting comebacks, and she gave as good as she got. In many ways, she was the real boss of the Cotter household. Rafferty made Ella both hilarious and heartbreakingly real. A woman trying to maintain dignity while living in a chaotic world. Her performances were layered, deeply felt, and always funny. Her TV credits include standout roles in River City, Hamish Macbeth, The Last Bus, and The Young Person's Guide to Becoming a Rock Star. Now 75, she continues to be celebrated across Scotland as one of the finest character actresses of her generation. Born August 2, 1958, in Neworthill, Elaine C. Smith stepped into the role of Mary Nesbitt with fierce intelligence and unapologetic strength. Mary wasn't just Rab's wife, she was the backbone of the entire family. Strong, independent, no-nonsense, and endlessly resilient, Mary held her household together with brutal honesty and begrudging love. Smith's Mary was iconic, not only as a character, but as a representation of Scottish women who carried families through hard times with grit and humor. The chemistry between Mary and Rab was electric. Sometimes explosive, sometimes tender, always real. Outside the show, Smith remains one of Scotland's most beloved performers. From starring in Two Doors Down to speaking out on women's rights and social justice, she's more than a performer, she's a cultural leader. In 2025, at 66, she's still active in theater, activism, and comedy, leaving an indelible mark wherever she goes. Andrew Fairley portrayed Gash Nesbitt, the disillusioned, defiant son of Rab and Mary, with raw honesty and emotional depth. Gash was the embodiment of a young man stuck between two worlds, yearning to escape the limitations of Govan but shackled by confusion, insecurity, and generational expectations. He was restless, searching, and often self-sabotaging, and Fairley captured all of that in a performance that felt both heartbreakingly personal and universally relatable. Fairley's departure from acting in the early 2000s surprised many fans, as he quietly stepped away from the spotlight and into a more private life. Now 62, he lives away from public view, but for many who grew up watching Rab C. Nesbitt, he'll always be the voice of a generation wrestling with identity, place, and purpose. His portrayal of Gash still resonates today, as a symbol of the misunderstood, the misdirected, and the quietly desperate. Shug was one of those characters who felt like he'd always been there, part of the wallpaper of life in Govan. And actor Sean Scanlon brought him to life with a kind of quiet dignity that made you sit up and pay attention. Born in 1948, Scanlon had a gift for grounding his roles in emotional truth. His Shug was wise but weary, full of the kind of hard-earned knowledge that comes from years of surviving, not thriving. Whether he was sharing a pint or offering a grim one-liner about life's unfairness, Scanlon gave Shug a soul. His presence wasn't loud, but it was solid, like the foundation of a building you never see but always rely on. Scanlon's work extended beyond Rab C. Nesbitt, with standout roles in Monarch of the Glen and Taggart. He passed away on April 17, 2017, at age 68. Today, his legacy lives on in the quiet strength and emotional depth he brought to every performance, reminding us that even the softest voices can leave the loudest echoes. Dodi was the gentle, slightly naive friend in Rab's inner circle, the kind of guy who'd give you the shirt off his back without ever expecting anything in return. Ian McCall, born in 1954, infused the character with such heart that audiences couldn't help but root for him. Whether Dodi was stumbling into trouble or offering unexpected pearls of kindness, McCall's performance made him feel like someone you actually knew. He had that rare ability to make people laugh and cry in the same scene, shifting from comedic timing to emotional vulnerability with ease. McCall gave Dodi a sweetness that was never forced, never cloying, just honest and deeply human. Sadly, McCall passed away in 2013 at the age of 59 after a battle with cancer. For fans of the show, his loss was deeply felt. He wasn't just playing a character, he was embodying a spirit of decency that seems increasingly rare. His work continues to resonate with anyone who believes that kindness still matters. Russell Hunter's Dasa was unlike anyone else in Rab C. Nesbitt, a philosopher in tattered clothes, a street poet whose presence turned even the grimmest moments into quiet, unexpected beauty. Born in 1925, Hunter was already a revered actor with decades of work behind him, including his legendary role as Lonely in Callan before joining the cast. But as Dasa, he found a whole new way to touch people's hearts. There was something transcendent about the way Hunter delivered his lines. Like he wasn't just acting, he was speaking for every soul that had ever been forgotten or overlooked. Dasa wasn't a main character, but his appearances were always profound, always unforgettable. Hunter passed away in 2004 at the age of 79. Today, acting students still study his performances, trying to learn how to say so much with so little. He remains a shining example of how even in a gritty comedy, there's room for grace, for poetry, and for emotional truth. John Kazek, born in 1963, brought grit, toughness, and raw energy to the role of Nori, a minor character who still left a major impression. In a world filled with larger-than-life personalities, Nori was a reminder of the working-class realism at the heart of Rab C. Nesbitt. Kazek's performance was unpolished in the best way, sharp, grounded, and completely believable. Beyond the show, Kazek has continued to build an impressive career, appearing in acclaimed projects like Outlaw King and River City. He's a staple in both film and theater, respected for his range and commitment to authenticity. Now in 2025, at age 62, Kazek remains active and relevant, a rare feat in an ever-changing industry. For fans of Rab C. Nesbitt, he's not just Nori, he's a symbol of how powerful even a supporting role can be when it's played with heart, honesty, and absolute dedication. Born December 22, 1953 in Menstrie, Clackmannanshire, Gregor Fisher was 35 years old when he first brought Rab C. Nesbitt to life in the 1988 pilot episode of the BBC series that would go on to define an era of British television. With his greasy hair, sweat-stained string vest, and permanent hangover, Rab wasn't your typical hero, but Fisher gave him heart, depth, and soul. He captured the frustrations of an underrepresented working-class man, using biting wit and raw emotion to voice a generation's disillusionment. Over the years, Rab became more than just a character. He became a symbol. A philosopher in the pub, a poet of the gutter. Fisher's nuanced performance earned him critical acclaim, and his face became synonymous with unfiltered, brutally honest comedy. Outside of Rab C. Nesbitt, Fisher brought charm and depth to film roles in Love Actually, The Merchant of Venice, and The Legend of Barney Thompson. Now in 2025, at age 71, he has stepped back from public life, but his impact lives on, etched into the DNA of Scottish television history. Tony Roper, born August 19, 1941 in Glasgow, was 47 when he joined the show as Rab's outrageous best friend, Jamesy Cotter. Jamesy was a notorious womanizer with a ridiculous fashion sense, an even more ridiculous mustache, and a constant twinkle in his eye. But beneath the sleazy jokes and big mouth, there was a loyal if misguided heart. Roper's comedic timing was impeccable, but he was also a man of the stage. His most enduring legacy outside the show is as the playwright behind The Steamy, a tender and hilarious portrayal of working-class women in 1950s Glasgow. That work continues to be performed today, inspiring generations of Scottish writers and actors. In 2025, at 83, Roper enjoys retirement with grace. Occasionally he appears at theater festivals or on nostalgic talk shows, reminding audiences of a golden age of storytelling built on authenticity and heart. David Michaels, who portrayed Harry, the kind and dependable policeman in the show, brought a sense of lightness and humor to the series. Though his role was smaller compared to others, Michaels' portrayal added a charming touch to the show's ensemble cast. Following his appearance on As Time Goes By, Michaels continued his acting career, making guest appearances in various British TV series and theater productions. Now 60, Michaels remains active in the entertainment industry, still involved in acting and enjoying a steady career. Daniel Ryan, who joined As Time Goes By later in the series as the character of Harry, brought new warmth and humor to the show. His portrayal of the loyal and caring Harry was welcomed by fans, and Ryan's natural comedic timing made him a standout in the later seasons. Ryan has continued to enjoy success in British television, with roles in The Bill, Doc Martin, and Mount Pleasant. As of 2025, at 57 years old, Ryan remains an active and respected actor, known for his versatility across genres. David O'Hara played the charismatic and intelligent Patrick, a character who added energy and vitality to the show's later episodes. Following his appearance on As Time Goes By, O'Hara quickly became recognized in Hollywood, landing prominent roles in films like Selma, where he portrayed Martin Luther King Jr., A United Kingdom, and Interstellar. As of 2025, at 48 years old, O'Hara remains one of the most sought-after actors in Hollywood, continuing to excel as both an actor and director. Joan Sims, a staple of British comedy, portrayed Mag, the lively and always cheerful friend of Jean and Lionel. Known for her extensive work in the Carry On film series, Sims' role in As Time Goes By allowed her to showcase her comedic talents in a more mature but no less entertaining way. Sadly, Joan Sims passed away in 2001, but her legacy in British film and television continues to endure. And she is fond by and British comedy. Moira Brooker played Judith Hanson, later Judith Hardcastle, Jean's intelligent and often humorously perplexed friend. Judith's character was integral to the show's success, as she navigated the complexities of her relationship with Jean and Lionel. Brooker's portrayal was filled with subtle humor, making Judith one of the most relatable characters for the audience. While Brooker has stepped back from the spotlight in recent years, her work continues to be remembered fondly by fans. As of 2025, at 68 years old, Brooker remains a respected figure in British television and theater, her career having spanned across various roles in the industry, even if she has now chosen to focus more on her personal life. Philip Bretherton played Alistair Deacon, a charming and eloquent character who became a key part of Jean and Lionel's social circle. His suave demeanor and occasional aloofness provided a humorous counterpoint to the more grounded characters. After As Time Goes By, Bretherton continued to pursue a successful career, appearing in a variety of British television series, including Hetty Wainthropp Investigates and The Thick of It. His ability to seamlessly blend into both comedic and dramatic roles has kept him in demand in the entertainment industry. As of 2025, Bretherton, now 69, remains an active contributor to British television and theatre. Jenny Funnell took on the role of Sandy, Jean's loyal and intelligent secretary, who brought both stability and warmth to the series. Sandy was the kind of character that didn't need to be loud to be impactful. She was relatable, dependable, and always had a grounded perspective on the often eccentric situations around her. Funnell's portrayal of Sandy struck a beautiful balance between gentle humor and quiet strength. Audiences appreciated her ability to keep things real while still delivering moments of levity. Her chemistry with the other cast members added authenticity to the ensemble, and her presence was vital to the show's heart. Following As Time Goes By, Jenny Funnell remained active in British television and stage, continuing to work in both comedic and dramatic roles. As of 2025, now in her early 60s, she has shifted some of her focus toward voice acting and smaller stage productions, enjoying a quieter but still creative life. Her contributions to the series and her broader career continue to be appreciated by longtime fans. Frank Middlemass was unforgettable as Rocky Hardcastle, Lionel's free-spirited and slightly rebellious father. Rocky was the kind of character who defied expectations, an older man with a young soul full of mischief, charm, and surprising wisdom. Middlemass's performance was a perfect blend of humor and heart, making Rocky a standout character who often stole the show. With a long and distinguished career in British theatre and television, Frank Middlemass had already built a legacy before joining As Time Goes By. But his portrayal of Rocky added a joyful, almost whimsical dimension to his resume, proving that age is no barrier to stealing scenes and winning hearts. Middlemass passed away in 2006 at the age of 87, but his work lives on. Fans continue to celebrate his portrayal of Rocky as one of the warmest and most delightful father figures ever seen on British television. His laughter, quirks, and moments of sincerity remain etched in the memory of everyone who loved the show. Judi Dench, born on December 9, 1934, in York, England, portrayed Jean Hardcastle, a strong, independent woman who is reunited with her former lover, Lionel, after many years. This role, which Dench took on when she was 58 years old, was a significant part of her illustrious career, adding a charming, heartwarming character to the show. Dench's portrayal of Jean resonated deeply with audiences, who admired her warmth and comedic timing. Having already had a remarkable career in theatre and film, Judi Dench went on to achieve even greater fame, particularly with her role in Shakespeare in Love, for which she won an Academy Award. As of 2025, at the age of 90, Dench continues to enjoy an esteemed career, both on stage and screen. She remains an advocate for various causes, including women's rights and charitable initiatives. Despite her age, Judi Dench's passion for acting and advocacy continues to inspire audiences and her peers. Geoffrey Palmer, born on June 4, 1927, in London, England, portrayed the reserved yet lovable Lionel Hardcastle. Lionel, a man whose dry wit and subtle charm made him the perfect match for Jean, became one of the show's most beloved characters. Palmer's portrayal was rooted in his vast experience in both comedy and drama, and his impeccable timing brought depth to the role. Palmer had an extensive career, with appearances in numerous television series and films, including Doctor Who and The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin. Sadly, Palmer passed away in 2020 at the age of 93 due to complications from illness. However, his remarkable legacy as one of Britain's finest actors endures, and his portrayal of Lionel will always remain an iconic part of As Time Goes By. Janet Henfrey brought to life the wonderfully peculiar Mrs. Bale, the housekeeper whose obsession with weather reports and quiet but pointed commentary made her one of the most unexpectedly delightful characters in As Time Goes By. With her dry wit and understated delivery, Henfrey made Mrs. Bale a memorable presence in nearly every scene she appeared in, turning what could have been a background role into a quirky and lovable staple of the show. Beyond As Time Goes By, Henfrey's acting career was nothing short of prolific. Known for her sharp intellect and dignified stage presence, she became a fixture in British television and theatre, appearing in dramas, comedies, and even cult favorites like Doctor Who. Her distinctive voice and ability to infuse subtle humor into her characters set her apart in every performance. As of 2025, at the age of 89, Janet Henfrey continues to be held in high regard in the British acting community. While she has stepped back from frequent on-screen roles, she remains a respected voice in the arts, occasionally lending her talents to radio plays and mentoring younger actors. Her decades-long career stands as a testament to her talent, dedication, and unique ability to make even the most unconventional unforgettable. Moira Fraser portrayed Penny, Jean's sister-in-law, with a delightful blend of sophistication, sass, and charm. Penny was a character who often brought comedic tension to family gatherings, slightly pretentious, mildly judgmental, but ultimately well-meaning. Fraser's performance added just the right amount of bite and levity, making her scenes memorable and often laugh-out-loud funny. Fraser's journey in the arts began not with acting, but with ballet. A trained dancer, she transitioned into acting with elegance, bringing a refined presence to both the stage and screen. Her performances were marked by poise, sharp timing, and a deep understanding of character work. After her time on As Time Goes By, she continued to appear in theater productions and television shows, proving her range across different genres. Moira Fraser passed away in 2009 at the age of 86. Though she's no longer with us, her work lives on through her contributions to British entertainment. Her portrayal of Penny remains a fan favorite, remembered for its humor, complexity, and flair. From Motown to Ministry, Carl Bean's 1977 disco anthem, I Was Born This Way, predated Lady Gaga's hit by decades. Later, as an openly gay archbishop, he founded the Unity Fellowship Church, merging gospel fervor with LGBTQ+ affirmation. AIDS activism. During the 1980s crisis, Bean's church became a sanctuary, offering both spiritual comfort and HIV education. His mantra, God is love, and love is for everyone. Bean's dual leg pioneered what gospel could embody. Sacred Beginnings. John Holliday's 4-octave range was nurtured in Texas Pentecostal churches. By 10, he was soloing in choirs, though he sensed his queerness didn't fit the script. Opera and authenticity. At Juilliard, Holliday embraced his countertenor voice and identity. His 2020 The Voice performances, blending gospel runs with classical precision, showcased a man unapologetically himself. Message, God didn't make a mistake with me, Holliday asserts, challenging classical and gospel norms alike. Partnership with Tharp Marie Knight's contralto grounded Tharp's virtuosic guitar, their duets like Up Above My Head. After Tharp's 1973 death, Knight continued solo, though tragedy struck when a fire killed her children and mother. Quiet resilience. Knight's later gospel recordings, like Gospel Train 2007, carried a haunting wisdom. Biographer Gail Wald notes, her life was a testament to love's endurance in all its forms. From choir to activism. Raised in San Francisco's Glide Memorial Church, Bishop Yvette Flunder founded the City of Refuge UCC, a haven for LGBTQ+ Christians. Her sermons and gospel albums, like Where There's Love, merge theology with social justice. Teachings. The church must be a hospital for the broken, not a museum for the saints, Flunder preaches, embodying a gospel of radical inclusion. Epilogue. Singing a new hymn. These artists' lives compose a symphony of courage, each note challenging dogma and bigotry. Their stories remind us that gospel's true power lies not in perfection, but in the messy, glorious intersection of faith and humanity. As the chorus of queer voices grows louder, the genre they love is finally learning to listen. Alex Bradford, known as the man who saved gospel music, was a flamboyant composer and singer whose theatrical style reshaped gospel in the 1950s. Openly gay in an era of intense stigma, Bradford's hits like Too Close to Heaven blended drama with spirituality, influencing artists like Little Richard. He co-founded the landmark musical Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope, and mentored a young Andre Crouch. Despite his vibrant stage presence, Bradford's sexuality was an open secret in gospel circles, a testament to his unapologetic authenticity. His legacy lives on in the gospel plays and choirs that continue to embrace theatricality as worship. Reverend Dolores Berry, a transgender gospel singer and minister, has spent decades advocating for LGBTQ+ inclusion in the Black church. Her powerful contralto voice, honed in Chicago's Southside churches, became a tool for activism. After transitioning in the 1990s, Berry faced ostracism, but persisted, founding ministries that blend gospel music with social justice. Her rendition of His Eye is on the Sparrow at LGBTQ+ Pride services has become iconic, symbolizing divine love beyond gender norms. God doesn't make mistakes, Berry preaches, merging scripture with queer liberation. Dennis Jernigan's 1980s worship anthem, You Are My All in All, became a staple in churches worldwide, even as he privately grappled with his sexuality. After years of conversion therapy and marriage to a woman, Jernigan came out as gay in 2019, renouncing the harmful theology he once promoted. His raw memoir, Singing Over the Bones, details his journey from self-loathing to acceptance. Today, Jernigan rewrites his hymns with inclusive language, offering them as apologies to LGBTQ+ believers. His story underscores the harm of exclusion and the healing power of truth. Though famed for modern dance, Alvin Ailey's work was deeply rooted in gospel and spirituals. His masterpiece, Revelations, 1960, used hymns like Wade in the Water to celebrate Black spiritual resilience. Ailey, who was gay, infused his choreography with the ecstasy and anguish of the Black church, creating a visceral dialogue between faith and identity. I'm trying to show the world we are all human, he said, a philosophy that made his dance company a sanctuary for queer artists of color. Ailey's legacy proves that gospel spirit transcends music, moving bodies and souls alike. As the openly lesbian niece of gospel legends the Clark sisters, Tonia Hughes Campbell carves her own path in the genre. A powerhouse vocalist, she's performed with her aunts while advocating for LGBTQ+ visibility in gospel. Her 2022 single Free tackles the tension between faith and sexuality. God loves me as I am, no need to hide, no need to pretend. Though some family members initially struggled with her truth, Campbell's courage mirrors the Clark sisters' own revolutionary impact on gospel. Ministry isn't about perfection, she says, it's about showing up as you are. Ray Bolt's 1988 hit, Thank You, became an anthem in Christian households, imagining heavenly gratitude for earthly kindness. For decades, the Grammy-winning artist epitomized evangelical sincerity, until his 2008 coming out shattered his career. I couldn't lie anymore, Bolt said, revealing he'd hidden his sexuality to protect his family and fans. His post-coming out album, True, Worship and Love, 2014, reimagined worship songs with pronouns changed, offering solace to closeted believers. Though exiled from Christian radio, Bolts now performs at Pride festivals, bridging his faith and truth. God didn't abandon me, he insists. He led me to freedom. Beverly Glenn Copeland's ethereal voice and synth-driven spirituals, like 1986's Keyboard Fantasies, fused gospel roots with Afrofuturism. Assigned male at birth, Glenn Copeland transitioned in the 2000s, later describing their music as prayers for a hurting world. Their 2021 track, La Vita, channels gospel's call-and-response tradition into a meditation on divine interconnectedness. A classically trained musician raised in a black church, Glenn Copeland's work, rediscovered in the 2010s, resonates with queer seekers. The Creator sings through all of us, they say, no matter who we are. Reverend Yolanda, a drag queen and ordained minister, redefines gospel performance. Her 2019 album, Just As I Am, pairs hymns like Amazing Grace with campy theatrics, critiquing religious hypocrisy. Born Kevin Moore, she founded the House of Grace Ministry, hosting gospel drag brunches that blend worship and queer joy. Jesus hung with outcasts, she preaches while sporting sequined robes. Her viral Drag Queen Christmas Carols videos juxtapose traditional carols with LGBTQ+ narratives, making her a polarizing yet prophetic voice in modern gospel. Randy Roberts, a tenor for legendary groups like the Fairfield Four, spent decades singing gospel's male-dominated quartets while hiding his sexuality. After coming out in 2015, he faced backlash but persisted, releasing solo work like Fearfully and Wonderfully Made, 2020, a soul-stirring declaration of self-acceptance. Roberts now mentors young LGBTQ+ gospel artists, urging them to sing your truth, even if the church isn't ready. His journey from closeted quartet star to outspoken advocate mirrors gospel's own slow evolution toward inclusion. Though best known for Lavender Country, the first openly gay country album, Patrick Haggerty's music dripped with gospel fervor. Raised by a devout Catholic father who accepted his queerness, Haggerty's 1973 track Crying These Cocksucking Tears twisted hymn-like melodies into queer liberation anthems. Before his 2022 death, he reflected, "Gospel taught me to fight for justice, even if the church disowned me." His fusion of camp, country, and spiritual protest inspired generations of LGBTQ+ artists to reclaim sacred sounds. As Reverend Peter Hope, David Moran provided a spiritual anchor amid the emotional storms of Crossroads. His kind eyes and calm demeanor brought a sense of moral clarity to the show, reminding viewers of the importance of compassion, faith, and community. David's performance was subtle, yet deeply moving, portraying the clergyman not as a distant figure of authority, but as a human being with his own challenges and hopes. Though David Moran passed away in the late 1990s, his portrayal of Reverend Hope remains a quiet yet powerful legacy in Crossroads history. April Walker brought sophistication and a touch of mystery to Crossroads as Kate Hamilton, a character who arrived with her own secrets and challenged the status quo. With her poised demeanor and cutting wit, Kate was the kind of woman who made waves, and April played her to perfection. In an era when complex female characters were still emerging on screen, Kate Hamilton stood out as a figure of strength and intelligence. April continues to be involved in retrospectives and fan tributes, honoring her time on the show. Her performance remains a compelling reminder of how Crossroads dared to explore the lives of complicated women with nuance and grace. As the dashing and dignified Hugh Mortimer, Meg's great love, John Bentley brought old-school charm and emotional gravitas to Crossroads. His romance with Meg was one of the show's most beloved arcs, full of deep affection, bittersweet trials, and classic soap drama. John portrayed Hugh with quiet power, giving audiences a man of substance and sincerity. His tragic death on the show left a deep emotional scar for Meg and for viewers who had invested in their relationship. John Bentley passed away in 2009, but But his contributions to Crossroads, and to one of its most moving love stories, remain etched in the memories of fans who still remember Hugh and Meg with a sense of fond nostalgia. Please leave a comment with your thoughts. I always love to hear from everyone. Amy Turtle may have been one of Crossroads' most unconventional characters, but she was also one of its most adored. Played by Ann George, Amy was a humble cleaning lady whose muddled moments and earnest personality gave the show some of its most humorous and heartwarming scenes. Ann George brought a unique charm to the role that made Amy both endearing and unforgettable. She wasn't glamorous or powerful, but she was real, and for many working-class viewers, she was someone they recognized and loved. Ann George passed away in 1989, but Amy Turtle lives on as one of British TV's most iconic cult characters. Her memory brings a smile to anyone who fondly recalls her sweet confusion and lovable eccentricities. With her bold attitude and no-nonsense approach, Zeph Gladstone's Vera Downand was a force to be reckoned with. As the hairdresser at the Crossroads Motel, Vera represented a new kind of woman on British television. Independent, outspoken, and deeply compassionate beneath her tough exterior. Zeph played Vera with heart and grit, creating a character who resonated particularly with working-class women navigating their own battles. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind, yet she was also the friend you could count on when things got tough. Zeph Gladstone passed away in 2002, but her legacy as Vera remains strong. In an era where women were often side characters, Vera Downand stood tall as a symbol of inner strength, loyalty, and resilience. Elegant, intelligent, and quietly authoritative, David Hunter was the suave hotel manager who became one of Crossroads' central figures, and Ronald Allen brought him to life with sophistication and depth. Over the years, David evolved from a somewhat stern figure into a character rich with emotion, complexity, and humanity. Ronald Allen's own life took a brave and historic turn when he came out as gay later in life, a courageous decision at a time when such honesty was still rare in the entertainment industry. He continued to act with dignity and grace, both on and off screen, until his untimely death in 1991 from lung cancer. His legacy is not only that of a fine actor, but also of a man who helped pave the way for greater LGBTQ+ representation in British media. Roger Tonge's portrayal of Sandy Richardson marked a turning point in British television. Following an on-screen car accident, Sandy became one of the first disabled regular characters in a UK soap, and Roger played the role with a quiet dignity that reflected his own real-life battle with Hodgkin's disease, which left him reliant on a wheelchair. Sandy's storylines were sensitive and groundbreaking, shedding light on the experiences of disabled individuals at a time when they were often invisible in popular media. Roger's unwavering commitment to the role, despite his declining health, was nothing short of heroic. Tragically, Roger Tonge passed away in 1981 at just 35 years old. His loss was deeply felt, but his courage and legacy live on in every step forward that television has taken toward more inclusive representation. Please leave a comment with your thoughts. I always love to hear from everyone. With his suave demeanor and magnetic screen presence, Tony Adams brought energy and intrigue to Crossroads as Adam Chance, a businessman with charm, ambition, and a complicated love life. Arriving during a time when the show was evolving, Adam injected a new vibrancy into the series and quickly became a fan favorite. Tony's layered performance made Adam more than just a romantic lead. He was vulnerable, impulsive, and deeply human. Tony himself remains a devoted steward of the Crossroads legacy, often engaging with fans and celebrating the show's rich history. Still very much with us, Tony Adams continues to be cherished by Crossroads enthusiasts for the life and flair he brought to the screen during the series' later years. With his cheeky Scottish wit and heartfelt warmth, Angus Lenny's portrayal of Chef Shughie McPhee brought much-needed levity and love to the halls of the Crossroads Motel. Shughie was grumpy but golden-hearted, always ready with a sarcastic comment or a soft word when someone needed it most. Angus brought a wealth of stage and film experience to the role, and his impeccable comedic timing made Shugi one of the most beloved characters of the series. Behind the gruffness was a character full of charm and deep loyalty. Angus Lenny passed away in 2014, but his presence lingers in the joyful chaos of the motel kitchen and in the laughter he brought to countless fans. Best known for her legendary role as Nora Batty in Last of the Summer Wine, Kathy Staff brought an entirely different kind of energy to Crossroads as Doris Luke. Kind-hearted, soft-spoken, and grounded, Doris was the kind of character who radiated warmth and stability. She reminded viewers of the quiet, unsung heroes in life. The caretakers, the listeners, the ones who made others feel safe. Kathy's portrayal was subtle yet deeply moving. Doris Luke wasn't flashy, but she was authentic. Through Kathy's eyes, the audience saw a woman of integrity, loyalty, and quiet strength. Kathy Staff passed away in 2008 at the age of 80, but her body of work, especially her gentle presence on Crossroads, remains beloved. She was a steady hand in the chaos of the motel, and her spirit continues to inspire affection in those who appreciated the understated heroes of television. Before she became a household name as Audrey Roberts in Coronation Street, Sue Nichols brought sparkle, charm, and effortless glamour to the role of Marilyn Gates, the stylish, spirited receptionist at the Crossroads Motel. Her natural charisma made Marilyn an instant hit with viewers, even though her stint on the show was relatively short. Marilyn Gates was more than just a pretty face behind the desk. She had a lightness and fun-loving spirit that balanced the heavier storylines. Sue's performance left such a lasting impression that many fans still remember Marilyn with great fondness decades later. Thankfully, Sue Nichols continues to delight audiences and remains one of the most respected actresses on British television. Her time at Crossroads may have been a stepping stone, but it was one that showcased her warmth and star quality from the very beginning. Noelle Gordon wasn't just the star of Crossroads. She was its beating heart, its guiding light, and its spiritual foundation. As Meg Richardson, later Meg Mortimer, she carried the show with a rare blend of elegance, strength, and maternal warmth. Viewers didn't just watch Meg, they believed in her. She was the kind of woman who held things together in the face of life's trials, and for many, especially women across the UK, she was an aspirational figure during changing times. Off-screen, Noelle was just as remarkable. A true pioneer, she was the first woman to appear on colour television in the UK and broke ground not only as a performer but also as a producer and behind-the-scenes force in the early days of British broadcasting. Her abrupt and controversial dismissal from Crossroads in 1981, despite her iconic status, sent shockwaves across the nation and remains one of the most infamous decisions in the history of British television. Noelle passed away in 1985 at the age of 65 after a battle with stomach cancer. Her absence left a void that could never truly be filled. And yet, her legacy endures, not just in reruns or retrospectives, but in the hearts of those who saw themselves in Meg's grace and resilience, and in every powerful female lead who followed in her trailblazing footsteps. Jane Rossington holds a unique place in